Hello everyone, welcome back all of you to the physics online class. So today we are at the end of the topic, that is the dual nature of the radiation and the matter, right? And here we need to understand what is the particle nature of the light here. So in the previous classes we learnt that where the radiation property of the light, that means light behave like a wave here. But here we study how the same radiation can also behave like a particle. That means when a matter interacts with the metal surface, that means when a radiation interact with the metal surface, there it acts like a particle, because the part of the energy of a radiation will be given, so it act like a particle there. So that only called as, it is in the form of the photon or the quanta, that is a packet of energy. So the radiation which behave like a particle, we call it as the photon, because that will be having a particular energy and the momentum. Therefore photon means it is a radiation, that means which having a particular energy and the momentum and associated with particle nature is called as the photon. So every photon will be having its own energy. That energy is given by E is equal to h nu. Therefore here we can mention few of the properties of the photon. What are the properties of the photon? We can write here. First one, the properties of the proton. Properties of photon. See, photon is different, proton is different. That should be very clear in our mind. Photon is different, proton is different. Proton means it is a positively charged particle present inside the nucleus, right? Photon means what? It is a quanta, it is a packet of the energy that is associated with the radiation, and it has the particle nature too. Okay. So then photon, we are talking about the properties of the photon. The first one we can give, if the radiation interact with the metal surface that act like a particle, that particle with the energy is called as the photon. First we say what is the photon. When a radiation interact with the metal surface, there, so it act like a particle, that only called as the photon here. Yes. And second point is, second property is, every photon is associated with energy and the momentum. Here every photon is associated with the energy that is equal to, E is equal to h nu. Every photon has the energy. Every photon has the energy, E is equal to h nu, and this is also related with the momentum. P is equal to, momentum P is equal to h nu by c. So this is taken to be the momentum of the, so every photon. So in this it is very clear that the particle, the photon is associated with energy and the momentum. Okay. And next one is the energy and the momentum. Energy and momentum is directly proportional to frequency, is directly proportional to frequency of the incident radiation. So as you know the formula here, E is equal to h nu and P is equal to h nu by c. So remember, in both energy also depends on the frequency, the momentum also depends on frequency of the incident radiation, not on the intensity of the incident radiation. Okay. Next property is, photon is taken as Photon is electrically neutral. Photon is electrically neutral. That means it has no charge. Photon is electrically neutral particle. That means it has no charge. If there is no charge, it is not deflected by either magnetic or the electric field. Okay. So the photon is electrically neutral. And the last property of the photon is when a photon interacts with the matter, the total energy and the total momentum of that photon will be conserved. Assume this is the radiation, that means a photon, that is the packet of energy. When it incident on the metal surface, it interacts with that surface, where the total energy and the total momentum of the photon will be conserved. That means what photon is absorbed here, that will be considered, or that will be generated as a new photon. So total energy and the momentum will be conserved here. Yes, these are the few of the properties of the photon what we need to study. Then next let us move. Next, de Broglie. The scientist de Broglie explained about the both particle and the wave nature of the light here. Therefore, in his hypothesis, he explained that matter can also behave like a radiation, and radiation can also behave like a particle, that is a matter. So both radiation and the matter are having dual nature. So generally we call dual nature of the radiation and the matter here. Yes, and de Broglie also given the moving wave can be associated with the particle. A moving wave is associated with the particle or the material particle. Such a waves are called as matter waves. Remember dear students, here you may get one mark question, that is what are matter waves? Matter waves. Matter waves means the waves which are associated with the material particle in motion, or you can also say moving waves which are associated with material particle, they are called as the matter waves, right? Or they are also called de Broglie waves, because the scientist name de Broglie only given here, so the name de Broglie waves. And then that particle, every matter wave is associated with the momentum, and here the wavelength also given to the wave, that wavelength we call as the de Broglie wavelength. What it is? De Broglie wavelength. De Broglie wavelength means the wavelength associated with the matter wave. The wavelength associated with matter wave. Then the de Broglie wavelength for the matter wave is given as lambda is equal to, or sometime you can also take here lambda d. That means lambda is the wavelength, d means de Broglie. So lambda is equal to h divided by p. This is the formula for the de Broglie wavelength. And in place of p, again if I substitute, p means that is a momentum is equal to mass into velocity. If I substitute, that can also be given as h upon mv. Like this also we can write. Or in place of this, if the waves are taken light waves, so I can write here m into c, where the c is the speed of the light waves. That is, already we know the value of the c in a vacuum or the air medium is approximately 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Am I clear? Yes. And here, as we also know, the kinetic energy and the momentum are related each other. So in place of the kinetic energy, if I write half mv square, kinetic energy if I take, so then this is equal to half mv square. Then if I multiply and divide both that equation by m here, it becomes half m square v square upon here m. And we know that m into v means that is a momentum. So, I can change this formula as half p square by m. I can use like this, half p square by m, and in place of p square, so if this 2m if we take in the LHS side and multiply, that comes 2m kinetic energy, 2m Ke, and p is equal to, it becomes square root of 2m Ke here, 2m Ke. So, again this formula can be changed as lambda is equal to h divided by root of 2m Ke. Yes, this is the another form of the de Broglie wavelength in terms of the mass of electron and in terms of kinetic energy. And here we know that h is the Planck's constant, its value is that is equal to 6.62 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second, that is the Planck's constant. Okay. So, I hope the formula is clear, and again in place of the kinetic energy also we can replace that with the potential. Which potential? Stopping potential. So, that formula can be given as, if kinetic energy is associated with the stopping potential by this formula, then the formula lambda will be is equal to h upon root of 2me into V naught here, 2me into V naught. So, this is the de Broglie wavelength of the electron in terms of the stopping potential. Here V naught is taken as a stopping potential, and remaining m is the mass of the electron, E is the charge of the electron. And when you substitute the value of mass and the charge of the electron, mass and charge of the electron in the above expression, that lambda will be is equal to 1.227 upon square root of the V naught in nanometer, that can be given as a nanometer. So, this is the wavelength of the electron, that is the de Broglie wavelength of the electron taken in the nanometer. If you want to write the same in the angstrom, then it can be written 12.27 angstrom upon root of the stopping potential. So, this de Broglie wavelength depends on the stopping potential given in the their experiment. Right. So, then this completes the concept of the chapter 11, dual nature of the radiation and matter. See dear students, here we need to focus more on how the photoelectric effect is explained. Beginning onwards we started with the work function and the photoelectric effect and all the things, and there particularly we talked about the experimental observations of photoelectric effect. Yes, and there one more point we discussed about the experimental observation, that is specially Einstein's photoelectric effect. There he had given an equation, with the help of that equation we can explain the photoelectric effect. Then we moved to the point, that is particle nature, and how the wave nature of the light and the photoelectric effect both are contradictory to each other, and we are at the end, that is the de Broglie wavelength of electron and the matter waves. Okay, and I hope all the formulas are clear to you. Then today let us solve one numerical based on the dual nature of the light. Yes, simple numerical here, and in order to solve this, as I told earlier also, you should know the formula of the every chapter. Yes, and here specially, so the formula which comes under this chapter should be kept in your mind, right. Then what is the numerical going to be solved here? First one, an electron moves from region of 0 potential to the place where the potential is 45.5 volt. There is one electron. So, let us take here for the solution. there is one electron, right? So that is moving from the place where the potential is 0 and reaching to the maximum potential 45.5 volt. What will be the velocity of the electron? Now what is the question? What will be the velocity of the electron, they have asked here. Then given data are charge of electron is given and the mass of the electron is given, right? How do you solve this numerical now? The question given is related to the potential and next related to the speed or the velocity. Then we know that as the kinetic energy half mv square is related to the potential with the formula half mv square is equal to E into V naught. Yes, here we need to solve the kinetic energy of electron is equal to kinetic energy of the electron, that is equal to stopping potential. Yes, and here stopping kinetic energy means half mv square, here it is the velocity of the electron, then here stopping potential, that is E into V naught. So now I want to find V square, then this is equal to 2 E V naught upon m will be my formula. Then here VE is equal to root of 2, E means charge of the electron given here, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19, and V naught means V naught is the potential which is reached here. So V naught means they have given here 45.5 volt of the potential it is reached. So I can substitute here 45.5, then upon m means mass of the electron, so that is 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31, right. So after the substitution, if you simplify this, you will get